Okay, meet Tara. Now, Tara reached out to me in an email with some concerns, a struggle with her hair. So in this video, I'm going to walk her through that struggle and hopefully end up giving her some options that will look nice and youthful. Today I'm out here and oh my, it's already getting hot. Now, if you are familiar with this series, you've seen it before, then you're going to be surprised because this video is going to be unlike any video in this series I've ever created. Really excited, actually. I think you're going to like it. So first, let's read Tara's email. Hi, I'm a 45-year-old who does a physical job. I occasionally wear glasses. I tie my hair back for the job. I have very thick hair, which is going dry and frizzy. My natural color can be seen at the roots. I get very hot at work and due to menopause. My wife can attest to that one. I'm not very good at styling and would like to go short. Do you think you could help me with any advice on style and color? Kind regards, Tara. I don't know if you noticed, but in that email, there isn't a lot of questions or concerns. It's kind of more just Tara asking advice. She's got what I would consider to be longer hair right now, and she's thinking about going short. There are two pretty big concerns in this. One of them is that there's not a lot of insight as to what Tara likes, what she feels comfortable in, right? What kind of style she has. I don't really have a lot to go on. And if you notice that I don't know what short is, there was no real mention as to a definition of short. I'm gonna walk through just different styles, different shapes, different length ranges that I think she could absolutely wear. And then we'll get your opinion to see, one, if you think I'm on base on any of them, and if you do, which one you like the most. So I'm gonna throw some things at the wall, and I hope that something lands. And then along the way, hopefully we'll find some good views, you know, some views that don't suck. Like this one doesn't suck. Mountain, river, it doesn't suck. That's all I'm saying is it doesn't suck. The first style that I think that Tara could move into that is shorter is this. And before I really get into why I chose this particular style, I think I should explain that a lot of these styles, in my opinion, are going to be based a bit on just the face shape. Now, typically in a salon situation, I ask a lot of questions. Often one of those questions is, how do you see your face? Do you feel like your face is full? Or do you feel like it's long?
Too long? I know I'm square.
It can be really hard to determine your own specific face shape because usually people are kind of a combination of more than one. In this scenario, looking at Tara's face, what I am seeing is that she's got a little bit more of like an oval face. There's a little bit of length to it, and she's got a little bit of broadness like right around her cheek area. Not necessarily cheekbones. She's got beautiful cheekbones, but her cheeks alone. So my ideas are going to be wrapped towards the idea of kind of not adding any more width to the face and not necessarily elongating it, but more so accentuating the cheekbone structure. And by doing that, we're going to be lifting the eye, which can help to kind of elongate things. If I'm not adding width to the face, and I'm also bringing the eye up, then at the same time, I'm also elongating the face and making it a little bit more almost angular, if you will, or just more accentuated bone structure. If you look at this bob shape right here, the length is a little bit longer than the jaw so that we're not actually adding any more width to the face. This is more of kind of like a one length style. The reason I went with this because she did mention that she pulls her hair back a lot and that she's not good at styling it. So I was trying to give her an option that would be a little bit easier to manage and still have some ability to pull hair back. Her getting her hair back on this is going to be very much determined by where her hairline is, which I can't see if it's low or high, but my wife has very similar length hair and she's got a dense amount of fine hair, which I believe is what Tara's dealing with. And her hair is, like I said, basically the same length, very little layering, and she gets her hair pulled back into a little small pony. That's one option. Now, we haven't changed the color on this. We'll get to that. We will be changing color a little bit because she did ask about that. And again, view doesn't suck. Okay, now the next one is a little bit different. Here it is. Okay, now I'm very curious to know what you think about this one, but let me explain where my thought process was. So first of all, it's just about at the shoulders. Now, what's going to happen when it hits the shoulders is it's going to start to kick out because that's typically what hair does, right? So I wanted to show something that what if it was at the shoulders and it kind of started to break out a little bit. There's still a lot of layering on the side, so it takes that bulk out of the sides a little bit more to encourage a little bit more volume up around the cheekbone area so that we can still get a little bit more cheekbone structure. But between the length and the layering, I think we're doing a good job of not adding width to her face, but still giving her kind of a layered, less kind of bobbish shape at this length. Now, there's also some layering in the very front that would be able to pull back, and you can have some pieces that kind of fell. So there's a little bit of versatility for the times that she does pull it back. To me, if she doesn't want to go into a bob shape, but bob length range is the shorter that she's referring to, I think this could be a good option. Now, of course, also remember that this could be styled totally different. With all that said, There's another style that I want to show you it's actually one of my favorites that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. That's roughly the same length, but totally different. So we'll get to that. But first, let's do a little bit more hiking, see if there's any other views to be seen, and then I'll show you the next one. Oh, also, by the way, if you're liking this or getting any value out of it, do me a massive favor, hit that subscribe button. Totally free, helps the channel. And if you think that you've got a friend that might enjoy this kind of content, do me a real big favor, share it with them. Let them in on the secret. Oh, and if you ever want to be considered for one of these videos, or you want some, ideas of what you could do with your hair or how you can answer some questions, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a link in the description as well as the pinned comment so you can get notified when we do these and you can submit your information. All right, let's go talk about the next style. So probably about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a massive fire that went through this area, tore up everything. But in that process, it actually put all of these seeds up into the wind, and that wind dispersed them throughout the forest. So now we have all of these little areas in between the trees with all these like little wildflowers and stuff growing. It's really kind of amazing. Also, very confident that nothing that I just said was true at all. If you can actually comment below and tell me what TV show that was referencing, an extra 100 additional points. Now I'm about to show you 2 different styles. The second one is actually my least favorite style, but also it's the most important photo that I will show you in this entire video. And it's got the biggest takeaway that I can probably give you in any of my videos. So here is the first one. She did say she wanted to go short, so let's go short. But she also said that she didn't like to style her hair, doesn't feel like she's good at styling her hair. So I'm trying to give her the ability to have something that relies on a bit of messiness so that it's a little bit easier to style, and the fact that if it looks messy, it's supposed to be messy. So for me, it's got a lot of movement and texture, and I actually really like that style or that idea anyway. Maybe it'll work really well for her. But you also notice that it's pretty tapered in on the sides. Now that's on purpose because it helps to accentuate cheekbone structure because it kind of follows the cheekbone line, but also it keeps us from, again, adding any more width to the face. Now, we also have a little bit of bang on this one, and I actually think that I would probably wear the bangs up off of the face. But again, I don't really know if the bangs would be comfortable for her or not. So I wanted to show an option if she did want to have kind of some softness down or some kind of funky bang down. Well, there she goes. So there's one. Now, I also like the color on this being a little bit darker, and we'll talk more about that as the video goes on. I think it does add a little bit more richness to the skin tone because bright hair, really light hair, can start to wash people out, especially if they're a little bit more fair-skinned. So a little bit darker, not a bad thing. Here is what I think is probably the most important photo I can show you. That's this. It's probably my least favorite. Right? So why would I even put a photo in that I don't really like? That makes no sense, right? Well, it does, so follow me here. A lot of what I share on this channel is fact, okay? It's just the way hair works. But it's like saying that long, one-length hair doesn't have the same ability to accentuate face structure and face shape and be as flattering as that same one-length hair, but if you added layers to it. People want to see me murdered for this. In the same way that a block of clay doesn't have the same ability to look like a sculpture as a piece of clay that has been carved into a sculpture. It just is what it is. So that's not my opinion, that's fact. But at the same time, there are some things that I share on this channel that are opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. So does this particular hairstyle function for Tara's face shape? Yes. It's tapered in on the sides. It doesn't add too much fullness on the sides, so we're not adding more fullness to the face. It doesn't overly elongate her face, but it does add a little bit of length to it. I even like the color, if I'm honest. Maybe a little bit lighter than this, but I do like, again, that extra little bit of depth in the tone. So what do I not like about it? Well, it's a little bit more contrived, I think, than I would personally say that would be the best. However, who cares, right? When it comes to an opinion, you should not care, Tara should not care if I like it or if anyone else likes it. It only matters if you or she likes it. And that's exactly why I put this particular photo in this video. It's because even though I might not think it's the best, if Tara looked at it and she's like, that's actually very much my style, and she feels confident in it, then she should rock it. Like, she should forget anything that I ever said because it's irrelevant. The shape works. The style is up to you. There's only one opinion here that matters, and I think we all know whose that is. Hopefully we do. It's yours. It's your opinion. Your opinion is the only one that matters. I'm getting eaten alive by bugs, so we're going to move this along to a view that definitely doesn't suck, and I'm excited to show you. So let's get over there. Now, Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. One thing about these videos and all of my videos is I have to speak very broad, right? I can't speak to one person. I gotta speak to a larger audience. So there are little nuances that might change on an individual basis. So if you are a person that wants very individualized insight on just your hair, I do offer one-on-one consultations via Zoom where you and I can talk about your hair, talk about your hair problems, and then kind of create a game plan specific to your situation to determine the best options for you so that you can kind of answer all of those questions. So if that's something you want, I'll go ahead and throw a link in the description as well as the pinned comment so you can find them. Okay, still getting eaten by bugs, we gotta go. Okay, so I saved my 2 favorite options for my favorite view. With that said, this audio is gonna be rough. That is loud. I actually have this mic over here just because of it. Let's show you this one. How do you like it? Okay, now this is obviously a little bit longer, but it's still very much on purpose. I like the waves because I think it's just kind of more of a fun and style look. But more importantly, she did mention that even though she's not good with styling her hair, that her hair is feeling a little bit dry and kind of frizzy. And the approach to get this actual wave would need to have some sort of flat iron or hot tool used. Now, that obviously is not ideal for the health of the hair. But with that said, it's gonna do a really good job to make it polished. And I feel like even people that kind of struggle sometimes with figuring out how to manage their hair can still learn that process and get pretty good at it. My wife is actually the perfect example. Now, this also has a fair amount of layering, and the purpose of the layering is to take the bulk out of that sides because we still want to make sure that we don't add too much fullness on the side and create a little bit more lift on top. So I think the length of this being a little bit longer towards the collarbone and the lack of bulk on the sides, even though it's wavy, does a really good job of that. Okay, now for the second one, this is very different clearly. And this is a short version. Now, if I'm completely honest, I think that we could actually darken the color here a bit. I'm not totally in love with it, but I couldn't manage to get it to a place that actually I was happy with, so I got it kind of as dark as I could. This is still very short, but I like how it's lifted up off of her scalp on this one, or kind of off of the front, so she's not wearing a heavy bang, because it gives a little bit of extra height and gives a little bit less fullness to the sides, which helps to accentuate the cheekbone structure more. And it kind of does all of the things we needed to do, but it has a lot more texture and movement and ultimately just a lot more fun for me. So that, again, this is kind of an opinion, but I'm always curious to hear what you think. So tell me, let me know, comment below and tell me which one of any of these would you go with, or would you tell Tara to go with, or any of them. Do you think I'm just insane? That's an option as well. But otherwise, while you do that, I'm gonna hang out here and enjoy a view that definitely does not suck, because that doesn't suck. Here, you want to see it? There you go. That's ridiculous. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, we'll see you next one. If you like this video, you'll love this one. Subscribe and then go watch that. Whew. See you later.